that you can then operate from. A calm, knowing, thing. Great, peace of mind. Well, at least half of those books were about peace of mind, weren't they? And peace of mind seems to come and go. I kind of boiled it down a little bit on where or why it goes. I thought that was really important to know. And what it came to was, anytime something happened in my life that I didn't intend, my peace of mind could leave. Whether it was something exciting and surprising or something deeply depressing or infuriating. It was those times that I was knocked off and my mind took over. There went the intuition, there went the peace of mind, because something happened that I didn't intend. Like, losing somebody's phone number or my wallet. I didn't intend that. Right? So, how do you build peace of mind, and how do you get it back? Every time. Well, here, let's look. Peace of mind only happens when you're centered. Yes or no? Yeah. When you are centered, we're going to put centeredness here. Centeredness is the criteria. You got to be centered to have peace of mind. Good advice, but how do you get centered? Where does that come from? Centeredness comes from certainty. When you're certain about stuff, then you're centered. Has anybody taken dance lessons? Two-step or tango or any of that, cha-cha, any of that? Okay. When you first started taking those lessons, did you have peace of mind?
Hell.
No. Were you centered? No. Not unless it was my right foot over my left. Centeredness. Certainty, well, no, there wasn't any. Not until you had recognized the patterns associated with the dance did you get certainty. And then some centeredness, balance, and peace of mind out on the dance floor. Same thing happened when you were learning how to tie your shoes. Same thing happened when you were first learning how to drive, or operate a computer, or do math. Every single thing you've ever done has gone through this. When you recognize the patterns, then you became certain, then you were centered, then you could have peace of mind about that. So, the task then is to, every time something happens that disturbs your peace of mind, immediately look for the pattern. Wow. Is there a pattern here? I found one right away. Every time I look, first of all, if I was upset, I say, is there a pattern here? Yeah, I've been upset like this before. I've had this experience before. Maybe over something different, but I've had the same feelings, the same reactions as before. There's a pattern. And right away, immediately, I got more certain. I got certain I was upset. Rather than just being upset, you know the difference? When you're just ranting and raving and screaming and blah, blah, blah. Or you just sit there and you go, wow, I'm upset. Big difference, isn't it? The more you recognize the pattern, the more certainty you get, the more centeredness, the more you can do about the situation. It's, like I said, these are tools we've already got. We don't have to go buy anything. You don't have to read another book. Yeah, we don't have the time to read the books. We got phones to answer. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's going on in our civilization is that once you recognize the pattern, that's all great. Then we do this. We repeat the pattern. Repeating the pattern is kind of comfortable, you know? It's familiar. We repeat the pattern, and then we repeat the pattern again. Now, this isn't only just done on our part, it's done by our societies. We repeat the pattern, and repeat it, 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 and... Do you know what happens when you do that? Hypnotism.
This is without recognizing that there's a pattern.
This is, like for instance, when you go drive, I've been driving around Canada and U.S. too, and I've noticed that I could drive into any city and pretty much know within 10, 15 minutes where stuff was, because they're all set up the same. There's zoning laws, you know. Well, all the industry is going to be over here on this side, out of town. All the major shopping is going to be right over in here somewhere. And then when you get to the shopping center, it's a McDonald's and a Wendy's and a Burger King next to a Home Depot, which is next to a Radio Shack, and it's boom, 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 like a pattern, like a formula. You understand how many formulas and patterns we have that we're living in? It's pattern, 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 repeated, repeated, repeated. From when you first started going to school, even before that, with television. Repeated, 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 repeated. More and more and more, which lays in hypnotism. Now, how do you break out of that? How do you break out of a hypnotic state? You do something different. That's how you do it. You make a novel thought or action is how you do it. And you wake right up out of this. Like on vacations. How many people are taking vacation? Pretty much everybody. Okay, did you feel different? Did you feel more alive? You know, like food tasted better? You know? Why was that? Because you were spending more money? No, it's because you were doing something different. Now, the camera's on me, not on anybody else. How many people in this room have driven to their place of work or home, and then as you're sitting there, you realize you don't remember driving home or to work? That's hypnotism. Okay? We're going to take just a short break for the tape, and then we'll be right back to this. It's just like 3 minutes, just long enough for him to get that tape. Okay, just before the break we were talking about hypnotism. And this hypnotism is being done on purpose to the whole world population. You understand that the kings of Babylonia very well understood the whole principle of hypnotism. So kings and rulers have had some 5,000 years to practice on how to hypnotize people. And why would they want them to be hypnotized? Because when a person is hypnotized, they are being created. Up at the top, see, we're creating. But down here, we're being created. Created as what? Well, created as Christians, or Catholics, or Americans, or Russians, or Britney Spears wannabes, or Howard Hughes wannabes. Being created into consumers. Being created into identities that can be then steered. And that's basically what's going on in our civilization. You know, I was up in Canada, and I asked people about vacations. In Canada, people take at least 3 weeks a year vacation.
French, 3 months.
3 months in France, you're right. Other countries. Do you know, have you seen the commercial on television? Just recently, there's this good-looking corporate guy sitting there, and he says, "Thanks, your time is our money. Thanks to you, less than 25% of Americans take vacation. On average, the working stiff takes 6 days a year